Okay, so I know I've done a lot of these, and some of you guys are hanging with me. I really appreciate it. I was thinking about some stuff recently, and the stuff I'm pointing out is a lot about how to get there. You know, ideas on, scales, modes, what works with what, as far as the chords and scale, how they all work together, how you build a chord and scales. And I don't know if I've gotten much into technique, but that would also be probably detrimental to what my main goal is to get across, is that all these ideas can get you where you want to be. I mean, this is not like, oh my gosh, I don't have any idea what he's talking about on the modes and stuff. Some people don't think that way, and that's probably better in some cases. What works for you is the best. Trust me on that, please. Now, I'm not saying don't pay attention to what anybody has to say. Absolutely learn as much as you can from anyone, or at least take in their ideas and try them out. If they make sense to you. Maybe not even try them out if you don't want to. If you think you know better than that, or if you've already been there, done something else, But my point is, all this stuff that I'm getting out there right now is, I'm putting out there right now. I'm not saying, when I'm doing that, I'm not saying that this is, you got to know all this stuff. I'm saying this is helpful. That's all I'm saying, because I have no idea what you want to do. Okay. And I got there my own way too. We all do. Nowadays, you can look at a lot of different things. It's really a precious time for being able to find information. I still use the new stuff. I know that I can go on YouTube or look up, Google something and find the chord changes to a tune I need to know for tomorrow or something. But I'll know if it doesn't sound right, and I can say, well, it's probably this because of my experience. So what I'm trying to give you is experience in learning different ways of looking at things. That's all I'm doing. Okay? Okay, I want to make that clear. So when I'm screwing around, I'm doing that just for pleasure. I mean, that is expression, and that's what I'm going to be doing on stage too. But when I'm going through and saying, this is Ionian, this is Mixolydian, or this is Dorian. Oh, sorry. Here I'm going to screw up already, but Lydian. It doesn't matter so much if you don't really understand why it applies or it's helpful. So what I'm saying is it's very helpful if it's helpful. When I was about 12, 11, 12, 13, I don't know, I think I started about 10 or 11. I think 11. I was playing along with records, and I was trying to find, because I took piano when I was younger a little bit. I had a piano in the house. It was like maybe a whole step flat, at least a half step flat, and out of tune with itself anyway. So it wasn't in tune, and it was flat. And then what I did was I would picture the piano to figure out some of the guitar stuff. I knew about the major scale, so the do re mi fa sol la ti do thing, and so I knew there's 7 notes, and then it starts over again. And so when I would listen to a rock album or a pop album, I would try to figure out some of the notes. And what I would do is I would just mess around until I found 7 notes that would fit with a tune. And then I would try and improvise. So I would say, okay, this song goes from A to G. I'm just, and I would go, major scales. No, that doesn't sound right over the G, right? And then eventually I figured out that I I had to change that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 7, a flat 7 to make it work, right? So there's a scale. Okay, so I have another scale I can use when I want to improvise. For me, music is how you feel at the moment, right? What you want to say. So improvisation is very important to me. And it was, I guess, when I was really young. It doesn't mean it for everybody, but for me it was, and that's how I stumbled on these different scales, which turned out to be modes of major scale. But then there's modes of the melodic minor, harmonic minor, and that's why I bring those things up in my things. Okay, but you don't have to know them all up and side down. Whatever. Find what works for you and use the heck out of it, right? And then sometimes I'm not thinking scalar. I'm thinking just chord tones and notes around them. You know, if you, I'll just stay in A, you know, okay, so A7. Okay, right there is like a mix of like 3 or 4 or at least different things that I've learned over the years, right? So what I'm saying, okay, well, let me go back. So that incorporates mixolydic. Okay, that's one of the modes off the major scale. The only difference between that and the straight major scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, like I just talked about earlier. Okay, but I'm also putting other notes in there. Okay, only because of experience, I know where to land, and I'm trying to land on chord tones or notes that I know aren't chord tones, but could be, or just, you know, ones that I want to hear. And I know that there's other notes in there that I'm putting in that would sound awful to just hang on for a while, but it sounds more human or more like expressive to put those in between the other notes. Okay, so my whole point of this, to reiterate that, for new people out there saying, man, it's just the same old crap, or I don't get all that stuff, you don't have to. Take a tiny piece of it. You can use your own ears to tell you what's right. And you can remember it in your own way. You don't have to remember these names. You can make up your own names for these things. Like I said, when I was younger, I did that. I found about 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and I realized that, oh, these are just the modes for major scale. After I talked to the other, I realized what was going on. Oh my gosh, that's all I was doing was learning the notes to those. It didn't matter what they were called. Now I know how to communicate those ideas because I know what they're called. But that's another subject, okay? You know, but if you want to just be able to play, don't shun all this information because it seems too academic or something is going to take away from your feel. Baloney. It's going to have you're going to have more feel. You're going to be able to do more of what you want to do with this stuff. Okay, man, I went on a rant. It's all about what you want to. I'm not saying, I mean, gosh, I could care less about going through this stuff if I didn't have to get to where I want to be and say what I want to say musically. That's all I'm telling you. Okay, talk soon.